I think that what the barometer is, that emotional barometer, right? The thing that happens when something does hit you in a sharp or important or inspiring way, is that you have to be paying attention, right? What I didn't pay attention to when I was working on Marie Curie, that was that I wasn't having the hair on the back of my neck raising up, right? I was writing in a practical way. I was writing because I thought, oh, at some moment, I'm just going to start feeling it. And now I know that whether I search for something or it hits me in the face, right, or runs over me like a crosstown bus, there's an undeniable, like not subtle at all, experience of what happens to me when I find that inspiration. And now I know to pay attention to that feeling. And if I don't have it, I'm not going to discover it along the way. I'm not going to start to feel it. I either feel it as soon as I see it or sense it, or I had this dream about Martha Gellhorn, and it was like, I'm awake. I do miss writing poetry. I do. But strangely, I don't want to do it. Like, I can't imagine stopping everything I'm doing now and writing poetry, and I'll tell you, I still love to read poetry. I love to have poetry in my life. But writing a poem, it's this very contained, I always think of it as sort of like all of it can fit into a box. A whole poem can fit on a page. And so you can see the whole thing as you're building it and as you're making it, and you can toy with things and lines and the music of the poem and all of that. But it's very controlled. A novel, it's bigger than you are, right? And even as you're writing it, it's like how many? 100,000 words? All these pages, you can't hold it in your mind even. It stretches out in every direction. And I feel like it takes everything. It takes everything, and that there's something that's super compelling about that to me. That it's bigger than I am, that I'm overwhelmed all the time by it, that I can't stop thinking about it. I get super obsessive. But it's not about control, it's about surrender.
What advice do you have to aspiring poets?
Yeah, read poetry. It's amazing.
Thick skin.
It's amazing, though. I meet all these poets who don't read poetry, and I think that when I first started reading poetry, in fact, I had a professor who literally humiliated me. And read my work and said, so this is trite, and this is cliche, and this is wildly romantic. She's like, have you actually tried reading poetry? And here's the thing. I hadn't. Like, I think I'd only read like maybe E.E. Cummings. And she's like, here's this thing called metaphor. You might want to check it out. You know, figurative language, the whole world is at your disposal. And so literally I went to the library and I started reading contemporary poetry. And after that, honestly, it was like a crash course in what was possible in poetry. So when writers come to me and ask for advice, I always say, read in the genre that you want to write in. Read in the genre that's important to you. Read as if your life depends on it. Like, have important texts on your desk that you're inspired by. The book you wish that you had written, you keep that book around and available for you and write your face off.